In this video, I want to take a look at a pretty major open beta that will be dropping on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and pretty much every platform come May 27th. That is Chivalry 2, and you won't have to do anything. It's just an open beta, straight up open for everyone, so that's nice to see. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart's file size has reportedly been revealed. We'll talk about that. Not as big as I thought it was going to be. And Sony is looking to reduce the lag that comes from PlayStation Now streaming if a recent patent filing is to be believed. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But the cross-platform play beta for Chivalry 2 will be running from May 27th to June 1st. So this is the follow-up to Chivalry 1, of course, done by Tripwire. And Chivalry 2 is looking to be a significant improvement from Chivalry 1. Also included is cross-platform play across all platforms. That is super nice to see. Crossplay smashes the boundaries between PC and console, allowing players to face off on the battlefield together regardless of platform. They note the slaughter of Coxwell, the Mason Order seeks to make a brutal example of the peaceful village of Coxwell after it declared support for Argon 2, burn the village, breach the gate, steal the gold, and kill the soldiers. They go over a lot of other information: free-for-all game mode, full customization, dual servers, 64 and 40 player server options, and same platform parties, and that is new for this open beta. The game itself is due out on June 8th, but again, this open beta will be kicking off May 27th and will be running until June 1st. If you didn't play Chivalry 1, it was super popular on PC, not as popular on console, but it did make a little bit of an impact on console. But Chivalry 1 was huge on PC for a while, and Chivalry 2, hopefully it does gain a little bit more traction on consoles as well. And I think with the release on PlayStation 5, Shackles really coming off as far as that's concerned, I do think it's going to be quite popular. We'll see how it turns out. Do check out that open beta once it drops May 27th to get your own idea of the game. Okay, one game that I do know is going to be enormous on the PlayStation 5, not necessarily from a file size standpoint, but from a popularity standpoint, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. It is out June 11th, and now we know that the game is probably going to be just 42 gigabytes without the day one patch. Now, 42 gigabytes, maybe, 10, 15 years ago, 42 gigabytes would sound like a lot, but these days, when you got games, going north of 100 gigabytes, hey, 42 gigabytes, that is relatively reasonable. I mean, did you guys see that file size of the Mass Effect Legendary Edition? When you look at that and you look at Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, hell, 42 gigabytes sounding real good right now, so I think I'm going to be pretty happy with that. And this is coming from the Twitter user PlayStation Game Size, which is usually on point, and again, 42 gigabytes sounding pretty good. The preload is reportedly going to be launching on June 4th, so that's a full week ahead of the game's release, so you'll have a chance to preload the game, and you'll be good to go for the launch date of June 11th. Man, that week is going to be rough on people that are picking up all the big budget games that are coming that week, because the day before June 11th, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade comes out, and I want to play that game again with the PlayStation 5 performance. I definitely want to give that game another playthrough just because I loved it so much, and now to play it, better visuals, better frame rate, all that good stuff. And then you're also talking about the Intergrade, the DLC that comes with it. You got to go through that. Then there's the Ninja Gaiden collection, also I believe coming out on June 10th, and then Ratchet and Clank on June 11th. Like, bro, why do all these games have to come out within like 2 days from one another? That's a little bit unfortunate. Wish it was a little bit spread out, but literally I want to play all those, and that's going to be a little rough. But I think game that takes priority for me, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I think if you have a PS5, that game is going to be taking the priority that week. I don't know, maybe some people are just completely stoked for Final Fantasy or Ninja Gaiden, and those are going to take precedence. And I mean, if you only have a PS4, Final Fantasy or Ninja Gaiden probably is going to be the game you go to if you are going to get that, since I probably would say that's the lesser of the 3 titles. But nevertheless, Ratchet and Clank, 42 gigabytes, very reasonable, and hopefully that is going to be a thing that we see going into other game releases, because I had heard something about, optimization of file size, just because, we're only rocking, what is it, 700 gigabytes or whatever it is on the PlayStation 5. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. But that is just not going to fly when you're talking about games being north of 100 gigabytes. I'm already talking to people that have a PlayStation 5, and they're talking about how they have to be very selective. I had a buddy of mine literally beat all of the Mass Effect games over the weekend, and then he's like, alright, I'm done with this, delete. Just because you have to be so selective with the games you do keep installed. Lastly, I do want to go over this patent. It was noted on PSU. Sony is looking to reduce PS Now lag coming from a recent patent filing, if that's to be believed. It notes a method is provided provided, including the following operations: executing a cloud video game in a data center, streaming video generated by the executing cloud video game over a network to a client device, deploying a cloud gaming proxy to an edge compute that is approximate to the client device, wherein the cloud gaming proxy buffers the video and retransmits lost packets of the video to the client device. Now, essentially, without all the jargon that maybe is not understandable to a lot of people, including myself, it seems like Sony is trying to implement a way to make PlayStation Now a little bit more usable for people without the best internet in the world. Even if you have decent internet, and I think I have pretty decent internet, I still notice lag on PlayStation Now. Like, yes, it's minor, but when you're talking about a video game, minor lag can literally be night and day versus playing a game locally on your own device installed there. It just is what it is. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the situation. Obviously, PlayStation Now does offer you to download PlayStation 4 games. You have that option. You can still stream PlayStation 4 games, but you also have the option to download them. But the real quality of PS Now, in my opinion, comes from the PlayStation 3 offerings, and those games are not downloadable to the PlayStation 4 or 5, so that's just really unfortunate. If streaming was much more accessible, and if it was usable to a large array of people, I think PS Now could be something really good, and I think the idea on paper sounds good, but maybe it's just a little bit too early for it to be implemented, you know, on a global scale or really at a mainstream level, just because not a lot of people are going to use it. Again, I personally feel like I probably have better internet than most. I'm on a wired connection, and most people are not even on a wired connection, so that's already going to be a barrier you got to break through, but I have better internet than most. I'm on a wired connection, so I already have two benefits that most people are not going to have, and even I'm going to be upfront and tell you guys that I notice lag with PlayStation Now. What about the people that are on wireless connections, or, you know, they're far away from their router, or they don't have the best internet in the world? It's just, or their region just does not have the best internet. It's not even up to them all the time. But that's just the reality you're living in. If you can make game streaming accessible to everyone and make it super usable, I think there's potential in it, there's a future in it, but I just think it's way too early right now, and there's only a small amount of people that can really take advantage of it and use it for what it's worth. I love the Game Pass model. I love the idea of PlayStation Now offering downloads, because that's something where the game's going to be running locally off your machine, but the idea of streaming, and I know Microsoft is going the streaming route as well. We've seen it with Stadia, but like, I just have not seen it gain a lot of traction, and I know it's a long-term play. It's not something that they're expecting to make a return right away, but ultimately you do want to get to a point where it's very usable, and we've been in the streaming game for a while now with PS Now, so it still remains to be seen how much longer it's going to take before it's really usable for everyone. But that's going to wrap up this one. Again, Chivalry 2 crossplay open beta test set for May 27th to June the 1st. Ratchet and Clank coming at a modest 42 gigabytes. That's kind of exciting, actually, and PlayStation Now lag, looks like Sony's trying to reduce it if a patent is to be believed. That's going to wrap up this one. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.